I forgot you had that.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me? No? You can now? You can hear me? How about you, Mira? All right, what question do you have, Micaiah? Pamela, can you hear me? No. Can't hear me, huh? All right. All right, Pamela said 23 and 25. Pamela, can you hear me talking? Yes, okay, good, okay. So maybe Mira. Maybe Mira can hear me now, I don't know. Sorry, Mira. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead. Let's get started because I want to make sure. Let me make sure it's recording too. Is it recording? is recording. Okay. All right. So going to 23. All right, so this question, so it says, I can buy one brand of honey for $14.87. Okay, that's fine, Micaiah. I can buy one brand of honey for $14.87 for a 16-ounce jar and another brand for $6.45 for 9 ounces. Find the unit rate and then compare, determine which one's the better buy. So unit rate means the cost of per one of something. So we have two options. We have $14.87 for 16 ounces, and then we have $6.45 for 9 ounces. And so for the $14.87 for 16 ounces, if I want to figure out how much that is for 1 ounce, if you notice, you are dividing by 16 here, because unit rate is per one of something. So in this case, for the honey, it would be per 1 ounce. So if I take $14.87, and let me pull up my calculator because I don't know how to do this one in my head. I end up with, it rounds to about 93 cents. So this one ends up being 93 cents per ounce. The other option is $6.45 for 9 ounces. Again, if we want the unit rate, we want to find out how much it costs for 1 ounce. So we take $6.45 and we divide it by 9, and we get about 72 cents per ounce. And again, I am dividing by 9 here, so I'm going to divide the top by 9, and I probably should have written that over here that I divided the top by 16. So once you look at this, you can see that because 72 cents is cheaper than 93 cents, that means that this is the better buy. Okay, so the $6.45 option would be the better buy. Pamela, did that help you? Awesome. Okay, so let's go on to 25. Why is there not a 25 here? Oh, here it is. Let me cover up this box. Okay. All right, so a new daycare is starting up down the street. They have 485 children registered. If the legal ratio of teachers to students is 1 to 15, how many teachers will they need? All right, so when you look at this question, see how teachers is first. That means the 1 represents the teachers, and then students is second, so students is represented by 15. So I'm going to set up a proportion here. So I'm going to say teachers on top, and I just kind of spelled teachers funny, didn't I? Teachers on top, and then students on the bottom. So when I set up my ratio, this is how I'm going to do it. Well, it says the ratio given is teachers to students is 1 to 15. Well, here, if they have 485 children register, that means that they had 485 students register. So the question is, how many teachers? How many teachers will they need? So the unknown, the X here in this case, is with the teachers. So now when I look at this, I see that I have a proportion, and so I can cross multiply. Remember, we talked about this. This, because of the equal sign, we can multiply like this to solve. So 15 times X is 15X. 485 times 1 is 485. I'm going to divide both sides by 15. And I get about 32.33. So they would need about 32 teachers for that many students. Okay. What other questions do y'all have? Or Pamela, did that answer your question at all? We're actually going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow in class, because that little quick quiz I gave you guys on Friday, there was a question very similar to this. And so we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow too. But all right, what other questions do y'all have? I'm going to talk about inequalities, because it's been a little bit since we've talked about inequalities. So let me do number 5. Okay. Oh, you got conversion? I can do conversion for you for sure. Let me talk about number 5, and then I'll do a conversion one. Okay. All right. So with number 5, in order to graph this one, we want to start by writing it in slope-intercept form. So we have 2 plus, oops, no, we don't. Sorry. All right. So we have 2x plus y is greater than -2, and I want to get the y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So I am left with y is greater than -2 minus 2x, which means the same thing as y is greater than -2x minus 2. So this is what I'm going to graph. So I start at the -2, and the slope is -2, which is -2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right one, or up 2 to the left one. Because it is greater than, it's going to be a dotted line. Remember, if it's an or equal to, that's when it is a solid line. So this is going to be a dotted line. Now, as far as figuring out which side to shade, it says that y is greater than. So we're going to look, and if you remember, you've got 2 sides from your y-intercept. This is the side that's greater than, and this is the side that is less than looking at the y-intercept. So because it says y is greater than, we are going to shade the top part. So this is what you should have shaded for y is greater than. Okay. Questions about that? All right, so let's do a conversion. All right, I'm guessing you mean dimensional analysis, Micaiah? Because I feel like that's been, yes, okay. All right, so let's see. I'm going to make this up, so I don't know if it works. All right, let's say if I'm going to go, I don't know, 130 feet in 3 hours. That's, I don't know why I cannot write today. All right, and the question is, how many inches per second is this? Okay, so this is what we are converting it to. So 130 feet in 3 hours, we're going to convert it to inches per second. So here, I can either work on converting the feet to inches, or I can work on converting the hours to seconds. It doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm going to work on converting the inches first. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. And within here, when I multiply, whatever this is, this has to be a conversion unit. And since I'm dealing with feet, this has to be, and I'm going from feet to inches, we know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. This is the conversion that I want to put in here, but I want to put it in a way that it's written as a fraction so that I can cancel out my units. So what I'm going to do is, because I have feet on top here, I'm going to write feet on the bottom here. So feet on top there and feet on the bottom here. So I'm going to say 1 foot is 12 inches, because 1 foot is the same thing as 12 inches. So it's kind of like you're still multiplying the top and bottom by the same thing in a sense. You know how like when we do equal fractions, like if you have 1/2 and you multiply the top and bottom by 3, how you end up with 3/6. This is the same thing. This is the same thing. It just looks different because you've got 12 inches and 1 foot, but it's still the same value. So you're not really changing the value. Okay. So now that my feet are diagonal from each other, they cancel out, leaving me with inches on top, which is what I needed. Okay, so now we're going to work on changing these seconds, the hours to seconds. And so I notice that I've got hours on the bottom, which means I'm going to need to have hours written on top. And so again, the conversion here, if I'm looking at hours, this conversion is that, and I'm going to seconds, is I've got that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. That doesn't help me. But I also know that 60 minutes, no, I don't. I told y'all I can't write tonight. I don't know what my deal is. I also know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So I'm going to use these two conversions individually together, these two conversion factors, okay? So I'm going to start with this one right here. Because I have hours on top here, I'm going to say that 1 hour is 60 minutes. My hours on top here cancels out with my hours down here, and that left me with minutes. Well, now I can do it again, and I'm going to put another conversion in this box, and I've got minutes on the bottom, so I want to have minutes on the top here, and I'm going to use this one now, which is that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So the minutes here cancel out, the minutes here cancel out, leaving me with seconds, which is what I needed on the bottom, okay? So now I can actually multiply everything together. I can multiply this row, and then I'm going to multiply this row. So I'm going to multiply all the stuff going across the top, all the numerators, and then I'm going to multiply everything going across the bottom, all the denominators, and I'm going to simplify it. All right, so give me a second. So I've got, I have 130 times 12 times 1 times 1, which is 1,500. 1,560, and I have inches on top. And then on the bottom, I have 3 times 1 times 60 times 60. So 3 times 1 times 60, which is 10,800. And that is seconds. And now I'm going to simplify this part right here. So I'm going to say 1,560 divided by 10,800, and you end up with about 0.14. I'm going to round it to 0.14 inches per second. Okay. So let me give you guys another one to do, so you guys can try another one on your own, and then so I'll give you a minute to try it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. All right. And I can go back if you need me to on that one. Let's say we have, sorry. 3 miles in 2 days. All right, I want you to convert this to feet per hour. And I will tell you the conversion is that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Okay, 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. All right, so you guys try that one. And I'm going to do it too. I just want you guys to try it for a sec, and then we'll go over it. That way y'all can ask questions if you missed part of it. Remember, you want your units diagonally to cancel out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So, okay, so again, you can change miles to feet first, or you can change days to hours first. It doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm gonna do miles to feet. All right, so because I have miles on top, I'm gonna have miles on the bottom here. And the conversion is, because I'm going from miles to feet, is 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So the miles on top cancels out with the miles down here, leaving me with feet on top. So I got that conversion and I'm done. Okay, so now I'm going to work on my days. And because days is on the bottom here, I need to have days on the top here. And so with days and hours, one day has 24 hours. So again, my days on the top here cancels out with the days on the bottom here, leaving me with hours, which is what I was converting to. So now I can multiply the top together, which of course I can't do that in my head, so let me do it now. So that gives me 15,840, and then I'm left with the unit feet on top. And then I'm going to do the bottom, and that's 48, and then I have hours. So when I actually divide and simplify this part, I end up with 330 feet per hour. So questions about that? Come on, y'all gotta ask questions. Is everybody good? I wish I could see you to give me a thumbs up. You think you got it now? Micaiah, how about you? All right, we still have time left. Do you want me to do another conversion problem? Do you want me to do inequality? Do you want me to do a proportion? I can do one more for sure. All right. All right, let's do okay. 2,300 inches per day. And I want you to convert that to feet per second. Okay. So 2,300 inches per day, convert that to feet per second. Okay, so again, we're going from inches to feet and from days to seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and go from inches to feet first. And since I have inches on top here, I'm going to have inches on the bottom here. And the conversion with inches and feet is that 12 inches equals 1 foot. But since I have inches on the bottom, I'm going to put my 12 here, and I'm going to put 1 foot on top. And my inches on top here cancels out with my inches on top, on the bottom there, leaving me with feet, which is what I wanted, feet on top. All right, and so then now I'm looking at days. Well, kind of like the first problem I did with days, we don't necessarily know the direct conversion of days and seconds, but we know that 1 day is 24 hours. We know that 1 hour is 60 minutes, and we know that 1 minute is 60 seconds. So there's a lot going on here, okay? All right, so since I have days on the bottom here, I'm going to have day on the top here. So I'm going to use this one here. 1 day is 24 hours. 1 day is 24 hours. My day here cancels out with my day here. Now I've got hours on the bottom, so I'm going to have hours on the top. 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. Keep making this smaller to make sure it all fits. Change colors. Okay. All right, so the hours canceled out here, hours canceled out here. So now that I have minutes on the bottom here, I'm going to have minutes on the top here. 1 minute is 60 seconds. 1 minute is 60 seconds. The minutes canceled out, leaving me with seconds, which is what I wanted. All right, so now I'm going to multiply the entire top row together, and I'm going to multiply the entire bottom row together. So 2,300 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is simply 2,300. All right, then the bottom, we have 12 times 24 times 60 times 60, which is a big old number, 1,036,800. All right, and then we had feet per second. Those were our units. So when I simplify this, we're going to get a really small number. We get 0.00, and I'm just going to round it to 2 feet per second. Okay. Any questions about that one? I probably have time to do one more before it shuts me off. If y'all have one more question. All right, well, I don't see anybody typing any questions. Remember, there's upgrade tomorrow before school, there's upgrade tomorrow after school, and there's upgrade Wednesday morning. So if you come up with any more questions, you want to come ask me, you can send me a message through Remind, you can email me. I am more than happy to help at any time, okay? All right, you guys have a good night. Again, let me know if y'all come up with any more questions.